Hello everyone and welcome to the Peak Politics Podcast. This is going to be episode 10. We're recording this around 10 a.m. on September 26, 2020. We'll be going over the previous week's events and giving our commentary on that. Not a ton of news, so we kind of have some smaller stories thrown in there, along with the few major things that did happen, which will probably get a lot of attention during this podcast. That's all you really need to know for the intro. I mean, Wyatt, you want to start us off with our first story?
Yeah, so the first story is that the Breonna Taylor case, the charges have come down, and there is only one charge against one of the officers, and it's for, reckless endangerment, I believe, right?
Or wanton endangerment, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much reckless endangerment because he was firing all willy-nilly.
Yeah, I think he hit like 3 separate apartment buildings, and it's a miracle no one got killed what he was doing, actually.
Yeah, for real.
But he fired like 10 rounds, and he didn't know what he was shooting at. And, the other 2 officers, I think, fired a total of like 6 or 7 rounds, and they were shooting in the right direction. And so he got rightly charged, in my opinion, at least.
Oh yeah, I agree. And then I also agree that none of the other officers were charged because they shouldn't have been.
Exactly.
I think we pretty much already went over it, but for those of you who don't know, basically what was happening with, basically the Breonna Taylor case boils down to, it was a drug raid, and the cops were given a no-knock warrant due to evidence showing that Breonna Taylor was involved with a drug trafficker, I guess would be the term, right?
Seller, trafficker, I mean, you call it what you want.
Yeah, somebody who was selling drugs. She was very involved with him, even though that they were no longer together and all this stuff.
See, I kind of question that, because from the transcript of the call, and I'll try and get a link to this in the description, but Tatum Report, Brendan Tatum's website, released a transcript of the call, and he's got good connections with the police, so I have no reason to disbelieve it. At the very end of the call,
look at the time.
Well, I don't really care. Well, no, this is when Jamarcus Glover was in prison. This has been like within that first week, or like within a week of this incident.
Okay.
When he was trying to, I think, post bail or bond, whatever the hell you want to call that. I've never been to prison, so I wouldn't know. But I'm a good person. Surprise, surprise.
Right. Yeah.
Well, no, I can't say that. I can't say
law-abiding.
Well, there you go. That's accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she was talking. It said he said love you, and she's like, yeah, love you too. Like at the end of the transcript of the call, it's like, okay, well, they seem pretty involved. This is a week within that week. I don't know what day that was exactly, but like within that week before he was arrested again during this drug raid. Because he was arrested again. He actually got out, and then he was arrested again in one of these drug raids. Because there's 4 simultaneous drug raids that occurred.
Right.
On 3 different like trap houses and then her house.
Yep. Yeah, which I believe in the transcript of the call, they were talking about trap houses and packages.
Yeah, that's exactly why. That's one of the reasons the call wasn't significant, because she literally said, "Oh yeah, he's going to be at the trap."
Yep. Yeah. So.
And unless she meant like an actual, honest to God, like Looney Tunes style trap, and I'm assuming she meant drug house.
Yeah, for real. The trap boba tea, right? Am I
exactly.
Right?
Oh, we can't say boba tea anymore. It's racist, what?
Yep.
Boba tea is racist.
Black culture, once
again. Asians stealing black culture. Like, don't you know Africans invented tea, not the Chinese? Man, if we're gonna bitch about anyone stealing tea, it's the British. I mean, I can't believe Africans are saying, "Oh, we stole tea from us." Man, no, we didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did not.
Under no circumstance.
Yeah.
You lying bitch.
Yeah.
I want to link that video in the description too. It's the boba tea lady.
Okay, yeah.
Just because people need to know.
I'm sure we'll find it.
People need to know how stupid certain individuals are.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
I thought this was a black-owned business. Boba tea?
Yeah.
Why'd you think that?
Yeah. And no, that lady was stupid. No, but so basically, she was very involved with this guy.
Yeah, this is Breonna Taylor. And that was the thing. That was a claim that we were making initially. If you followed the initial reports in this case, was that she wasn't involved. They'd broken up, trying to get her life good. She was an EMS. Well, she wasn't. She had been dismissed, if I recall correctly. Trying to get her life straight. Well, then why is she delivering drugs or accepting packages? Talking to this dude and whatnot. Yeah, and still clearly interacting with this guy. So I don't buy into that crap either. I mean, she doesn't seem to be trying to get her life straight to me. And then I would say that one of the other really big things I saw on some of the ABC coverage initially was they said that they showed up to the wrong house and she's just a total victim. The house is in the warrant. Like, the address is right there in the warrant. If you want, if you want to go look. Well, actually, we'll link the warrant. But the house is in the warrant. How is it the wrong house? And this is the other thing. This is the other thing I understand. The reason they got that warrant for that location was because of those phone calls, that known connection, and they were literally surveilling cars go from her house after picking up packages to drug distribution centers. All three of these places.
Yep.
Multiple cars. That's why they were doing that.
Oh yeah.
And they saw him, Jamarcus Glover, in the cars, in one of like the red Camaros, I think it was. So no, it's not a Camaro. Fuck.
What?
I don't know why I said Camaro.
Oh yeah, I don't know why you said Camaro either.
I think it was an Impala. Actually.
In one of the cars.
I think one of them was an Impala. Actually, yeah, I know, right?
Why do they always have to use a freaking Impala? I have one of those.
Because they want to fake.
They're giving a bad name to the car that I love. They're giving a bad name to it.
Because they want to fake being rich like you.
I guess. Except I'm not rich.
Yeah, that's the point. They want to fake it.
Yeah, I know. And I just bought it because it's a nice car.
It is a nice car for the money.
Oh yeah.
You know what a better car is?
What's up?
Never mind. I'll stop. Before I say something ridiculous.
Are you gonna say a freaking Honda shit, Vic?
First of all, they're not shit. Same way that Camrys aren't shit. Same way that Corollas aren't shit. Same way that
all of them are.
They're not. I hate to say it, but they're not. They're objectively not. They last for like 10, 20 years.
There's a reason why Honda Civics are called shit Vics. There's a reason.
By only you. Everyone else just calls them the Glock of the car world.
No, that's not true. I actually have heard it. I heard it from somebody else.
I'm glad.
Until now.
I'm glad you heard it from someone else, but I've heard from multiple other people that they're like Camrys. They're like, generic. Insert generic car. There's a lot of them in that really basic price range that are quite good. Yeah. Cars have gotten good.
Anyways,
get over it, bro.
Let's go back to the actual topic. This is why the podcast usually lasts for 2 hours, because we get sidetracked. Yeah,
because Wyatt doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and I have to try and explain it to him.
No,
and that is not an easy task. Let me tell you. I tried to define a platform to this dude one time. Oh my god.
Oh no! Stop that! No. We don't need to bring that up.
Well, I think we need to bring that up.
No. We'll talk about it another time. Maybe like on like a chiller thing where we're talking about just regular stuff or something.
I feel like we're talking about regular stuff right now.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be, because we're off topic. All right.
Okay, to get back on topic. Wyatt doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
So she was very involved with this guy.
Heavily. It seems, because that was the story, is that she hadn't been involved, she'd broken up with him, she was done. She was not involved in this trade. Bullshit. Transcripts of the calls, him going to her house, still receiving packages for him. No, she was involved with this guy. He was definitely moving drugs. And so one of the other cases, the issues of the case, they were saying that, well, the warrant was in the wrong house. Okay, we already addressed that. No, it's literally on there.
Yep.
And then the other issue people were saying is, well, they didn't knock, so no knock warrant. They did knock. Actually, the problem is they did knock. They knocked, and a witness said they announced themselves. I don't know if that's true or not, so a single witness said that. Seems to be a credible witness thus far. I haven't seen any reason. I haven't seen any evidence against said witness. Yeah. So they did knock. That's the problem. Is that gave her current boyfriend, I can't remember who, something Walker, time to get up and grab his gun. Mm-hmm. And he fired. Now, in his defense, he fired only one shot as they were coming in the door. They are plain clothes. They're not wearing the uniforms. And I don't know. I assume they were shouting police as they were busting in the door, because he fired one shot and then he stopped. He did not fire any more shots. Now that one shot did hit an officer in the leg.
Yep.
But so one of the issues they said it's a no-knock warrant, yada yada yada. It was a no-knock warrant. They knocked.
Yeah, they still knocked. And
which is the problem. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. But there's no legal.
There's no issue with that. Like, there's no like. It's basically courtesy at that point. The problem is at 12, at midnight. It's a bad time to be doing that.
Yeah.
So that was probably the worst thing as far as the cops did. If you want to blame the cops for anything, that was the worst thing they did.
Yeah, and you can't even legally do anything about it.
Yeah, there's no legal ramification for that. I mean, if they wanted to knock, they wanted to knock. If they felt it was necessary, then that's what they did. because I think they had downgraded the threat level of that place before this all started. They considered it pretty low threat.
Right.
And it was. It's just a legal gun owner thinking his house is getting broken into. I mean, this is not. He didn't keep shooting. It was not multiple people in their guns. It's just one dude thinking he needed to defend his house, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, which is why they didn't press charges on him.
Exactly. I think initially they went to, and they dropped him because I don't think there was not going to be a good case for that there.
Yeah, for sure. And that's good that they dropped it.
Then there's another issue. They said, well, why are they wearing plain clothes? Why did 3 officers in plain clothes burst into this apartment? Because obviously that makes the situation worse. Well, the reason is because in the other 3 locations, I'm not sure if it's true with her apartment, but I think it might have been. I'll have to reread this, all the information on this, but there were cameras around there, and they had a system set up to where if they saw uniformed police or police marked cars, they would alert. They'd start destroying evidence. Basically, you know what I mean? So they were watching for that. So it would have been a bad idea. It would have been a bad idea for them to go there in uniform, especially for a no-knock warrant. Because the reason you get a no-knock warrant is so they don't destroy evidence. They don't have time to get ready for you.
Yeah.
You want to have the element of surprise. So no, them going in plain clothes is perfectly reasonable. It's explained pretty well.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
More issues. I guess you could say more issues to this. Why were there only 3 officers there?
Yeah.
I have no excuse for that. That's bad. It was bad. That's a bad call. But it wasn't their call. That's their supervisor's call. This is the thing I think that the clear line we have to draw here is the officers actually involved in this were not at fault in any way. They didn't write the warrant.
Nope.
They didn't know exactly what they were going into. They should have been told what they were going into, but they only scouted out the place for a few hours. They didn't, because I think they asked the cops. I can't remember where. I can't remember which document they had this in, but they asked the police officers, "Did you know who was in there? How many kids were there? Animals? Who was in the surrounding apartments? Who was in the unit below them? Do you know?" They didn't know. They didn't know anything. So they were poorly prepared, and there were only 3 of them. And I listened to Robert Barnes' commentary on this, and he said it looked like they were being set up as the fall guys for if this went wrong. That might be the case, but that's like, I don't know, why would you take the time of setting up fall guys? Did you expect it to go wrong? Anyway, it's odd. So I would say that, they got screwed, those 3 police officers, except for the one that was shooting. He had a history of that. The one shooting randomly and hitting multiple apartments, he had a history of doing that, apparently, of being reckless. So I'm glad he got what he deserved. He's fired, charges, all the good stuff.
Right, yeah.
The other 2 were totally innocent. I don't see anything wrong with what they did.
100% innocent.
Yeah, it's odd. And then the other issue is people would know she was laying in her bed. No, she wasn't. Nope. You can ask her boyfriend. She was right behind him. That's exactly what he said. It's exactly where she was shot. I don't know what you want us to say. It's like he was in the hallway. They shot down towards him. Yep. I guess he moved or something from where he initially shot because all their shots hit her. Yeah. So it wasn't like they had bad aim. I mean, that's where he was.
Right, yeah.
Maybe he moved from where he initially shot or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Whatever the issue is, or whatever caused this, they were returning fire in the correct direction. And it was accurate. They didn't hit other apartments. They didn't, They didn't spray all over the place like this one dude did. And they only fired 6 to 7 shots. Whereas the guy that got charged fired 10 shots. And he didn't even know what the hell he was shooting at.
Yeah.
So, that guy's bad. No problem. Thankfully, he didn't kill anyone. Yep. But this looks more like tragedy than crime. I don't see a criminal issue here.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think, Wyatt? I mean, there's more facts to this case. There's more really interesting things going on behind the scenes.
Yeah,
with the warrants and how they got there. But that's the situation as it is, and debunking some of the bullshit you've been hearing about this case.
Yep.
Where she wasn't involved, turning her life around. No, she was totally involved. If she wasn't turning her life around, she's involved in the drug trade. Now, my general opinion is drugs should be legal, so it's whatever, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Although even if drugs were legalized, you still couldn't do this stuff because this is all the FDA hasn't approved your product that you're selling to people. I mean, this is still bad. Organized crime is still bad, regardless of whether or not the drugs are legal. This is organized crime. Poorly organized crime because they're idiots, but organized crime nonetheless. But and the thing with the trap houses and her house being the stash house and whatnot, they had cars. They had surveillance footage. Them following cars going between her house and these trap houses. It's well documented that cars went to her house, picked up packages, and went to these drug houses.
Yep.
So it's not really up for debate whether or not she was involved. She was involved.
Yeah, she was definitely involved.
And if she wasn't, then by some miracle, she was receiving packages at her apartment, and her boyfriend was picking them up, and she just had no idea.
Yeah.
Ex-boyfriend, yeah.
Even though she mentioned trap.
Mentioned it, called him, said she loved him. It's like, I don't know, I feel like she's still pretty involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a really difficult case to make that she's not involved. I don't see it at all. I don't see it even slightly.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about, justice for Breonna Taylor, they had a civil suit that was settled, and I believe it was her mom, right, that got the money?
Yeah, $12 million given to her family, and
it was given to her family.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's justice exactly because she shouldn't have died. I mean,
well, really, she shouldn't have died.
If you want to talk about
the only way that you can justify it.
No, I'm saying that they recognized it in civil court that it was incorrectly done, and they paid her an appropriate amount.
Yeah, for sure.
But of course, she shouldn't have died. Of course, there's some issues here. Yes, I put the blame on the police to an extent. But the question is, did they engage in any criminal behavior? No.
Right.
No, they weren't. They didn't go in there to murder her.
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't the goal. What they did is they made a stupid call, and then unfortunately, her boyfriend responded poorly.
Yes.
Maybe either not hearing that it was the police or he's lying about it. I don't really think he's lying. I think he probably really didn't hear them.
Probably.
Again, more facts may come to light about this. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just a sad situation. But I really don't see anywhere you can criminally prosecute someone except for the guy who legitimately shot into multiple buildings.
Yeah.
But that guy, we've already explained that guy into oblivion. Like, you get it. Shot into multiple buildings. Idiot. Yeah, prosecute him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he shouldn't be given a gun and a badge if that's what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, especially if he has a history of it. Because you were saying...
Barnes was talking about it. And by the way, when I'm saying Barnes, I think I'll link a video of his, or at least his YouTube channel. He does live streams with a couple different lawyers and a couple different shows. He's a civil rights lawyer, and he's really, really well informed on these issues. So I like to listen to his commentary on these issues of police stuff because he generally gives a much more fair and balanced view than I think even people on the right do. Like, he's better about admitting when the police are wrong. Like, he covered in detail how the police really just didn't do anything right here. You're gonna knock at 12 at night. You're gonna knock at midnight. That's a bad idea because creating situations there that you shouldn't. You're gonna only send 3 dudes for what you think is gonna be like a place full of drugs and guns and criminals. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and then if they had been right, if that place had been like just chock full of contraband and drugs, you knock, give them a few seconds, then bust in the door, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was a really bad call on their part. Like, I'm not trying to defend their actions. They made stupid actions. They made very stupid choices.
Yes.
But it wasn't illegal,
and
it wasn't malicious. In fact, if anything, it was just suicidal.
Yeah.
And they got lucky that there was only 2 people in that apartment. But, like, again, they would have known for sure what the situation was had they surveilled the place properly, which they typically do in these situations.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things here where they definitely did not adhere to, like, what you'd consider police standards. And so that's why I think the civil case was decided the way it was. It's like, they made choices that resulted in her death.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's not exactly their fault per se. You can't really hold them criminally liable for this, but they definitely made choices that resulted in her death.
Yeah.
And had this been a no-knock, had there been like 5 or 6 guys on him in SWAT gear, and they just kicked down the door and gone in, or in plain clothes, outfitted like SWAT, gone in, and they just woken up with like guns in their face, I don't think this would have happened. They Paul Manaforted the guy. This place. I don't think this would have happened. I think this would have been a very clean arrest, and we wouldn't have to have this conversation. So yes, blame where blame is due. They definitely have their fair share. But at the point that you're being shot at, I don't blame you, or I wouldn't want to prosecute you for firing back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's terrible. Definitely avoidable, but it's not prosecutable.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Any further thoughts on that, Wyatt?
Not on the case itself, just that the correct indictments were made, or the correct charges were made for sure. And that's really it as far as the charges go.
Now get into the riots.
A little bit. Yeah. I wanted to speak a little bit on the riots that happened.
Well, the thing that bothered me about the riots is also the people like on the media talking about this attorney general, like the first black attorney general. It's like, you think he's? I remember the one. I can't remember which. I can't remember who said it and what program it was said on, but like one lady said, A black lady said, he's not, he's skin folk, not kin folk.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Could you be any more of a racist piece of shit?
Yeah.
Like, you're literally saying, well, he doesn't agree with me, so he's not really black.
Yep.
It's like, what the hell?
That's really disgusting.
Like, why are black people so obsessed with being as awful as humanly possible on television? Like, not to be racist, but I mean, they really do a good job of it. I mean, frankly,
especially
Don if you go onto if you go onto the internet, you get to like the independent content creators. They're great. Yeah. I mean, they're great. You see real black people acting like real human beings. Like, oh, it's cool. You put a black personality on TV. Like, you pick one. Pick LeBron James. Pick Don Lemon. Pick literally anyone, except for Terry Crews. Terry Crews kicks ass.
Oh yeah, he does.
He was great. But like, what the hell? What is it about being on cable news that makes them want to say the most abhorrent possible crap?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I know, for example, right? I'm some percentage Jewish. I'll get back to you after I do 23andMe and tell you exactly how Jew I am, just so you know exactly how much of your gold you need to be hiding. But
yeah.
If someone said I wasn't Jewish because I, for example, said that Jews participating in the slave trade in Eastern Europe was a bad thing, I'd be kind of upset.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, so I can't admit when we're wrong? Like, I have to sit there and pretend that we're right in all situations?
Right, yeah.
Or I have to sit there and I have to, like, defend us in all situations? Like, why exactly does my ethnicity require me to cover up for the evils of my race? Or at the very least, cover up for the fact that wrongdoings were done by my race?
Yeah.
Now, in this case, that isn't the case. I guess in this case, she's saying he's defending the white people. It's like, but they didn't do anything wrong.
Right, yeah.
And he isn't doing crap. He's reporting on a grand jury what they decided.
Yeah, exactly.
So he isn't doing. First of all, he's not doing crap anyway, and he's right.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like that's. I'm just saying, I guess the Jew thing wasn't a very good comparison. My point is that why exactly is he a race traitor? Because he doesn't conform to your extraordinary, like, radical
monolith bullcrap.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's pro-black, because it's really not pro. Like, you're not actually advancing the cause of black people when you act like that.
That's why I said monolith.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a better word for it. Tribalism. Like, your extraordinary racial tribalism. Why does he have to get on board with that? Like, why does any rational American have to do that? Yeah. And I don't think they do, but clearly these people are of the opinion that they should. Mm-hmm. And I gotta wonder, like, what exactly is the reason you go around calling people race traitors because they don't agree with you? It's like, that's pretty extreme, man.
It's just like what they did with Kanye. It's the same thing.
No, because with Kanye, they said that he was crazy, he's batshit.
Well, it was more than that.
No. That was the main claim by the media, that he's unwell. Look at his tweets. Yeah. I'm saying the media. Yeah. This is the media once again, but they're not calling this guy unwell. They're saying he is a race traitor. He is in the pocket of white people. I don't think they really did in mainstream media because it's a hard personality to attack. I saw independent content creators. I saw crazy fuckwads going after him like that. I did not see the mainstream media do that. What I saw them do was say he's crazy, he's unwell, don't listen to him. They smeared him as insane.
Yeah.
But and neither thing is true. He's not insane. He may be bipolar, but he's not insane.
Yeah.
And but I mean, in this case, they're not calling this guy insane or unwell. They're saying he's perfectly in his right mind, and he's a race traitor. He's a KKK guy in disguise. Like, what the actual fuck?
With Terry Crews, they do the same thing with...
I mean, yes, but this is an escalation, because with Terry Crews, they just said he was wrong, and they called him Uncle Tom, but I mean mainstream media.
They do the same thing to Ben.
I mean mainstream.
They do the same thing to Ben Carson.
Yeah, they call him a lot of things, but I'm talking about mainstream media. I'm saying, like, you get on your ABC, you get on CNN, do you really hear this that often? You don't. You hear unwell, you hear crazy, you hear, against their own interest. You don't hear people say, well, he's just skin folk, not kin folk. Yeah. Like, that is an escalation for the mainstream media, in my opinion. That's why this was worth talking about, is because that is not what I would... it's an attack I didn't expect from the mainstream media. If you want to say he's wrong, you want to say he's defending police or whatever, when he shouldn't be, okay, that's an unfair criticism, because he's not. He's the grand jury it did. Even if you think the grand jury is wrong, it's the grand jury, not him. He's just reporting on the grand jury.
Right.
And that's the other thing, is like they're attacking him for something he didn't do.
Right, yeah. He didn't have any...
He may have had a hand in the warrant. I don't know what involved in. No, Attorney General. I don't think so. I wouldn't have gotten that far up for this sort of stuff. No. So yeah, I really don't know why they're attacking this guy. It's like he's just saying this is what the grand jury said.
Yep.
Here are the facts of the case, and it's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just feel like it's an escalation. Because again, I have seen crazy people on Twitter, crazy people on Tumblr, crazy people on Reddit, going after crazy people in the YouTube comments, going after people saying they're race traitors and yada 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 yada.
Yeah.
But on mainstream media, that's a stretch, man. That is an escalation of propaganda.
Yeah.
Because again, with Kanye, with a couple of people I've seen, like when you see like Bryson Gray get interviewed, very few times do they call him a race traitor. They just say he's crazy. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like that used to be the typical attack. Oh, you're just mentally unwell.
I haven't seen Bryson Gray get called crazy.
Yeah, I've seen it on a number of interviews where they're just like, well, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're insane. Look at that stupid giant MAGA hat you're wearing. Like, you're clearly not in your right mind. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. Yada yada yada. I've seen that in a couple interviews. I'll send you the one. Yeah, it's funny. Like they'll say like,
I want to see it. I want to laugh at it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I remember Twitter.
We're on a podcast though, so let's get back to the point.
Sorry.
I'm just saying that mainstream media, it's an escalation of propaganda. I don't normally see people saying you're a race traitor for that sort of stuff in mainstream news, because that was a hard left attack. Like no normal person would say that. That's just disgusting. But now it's not a hard left attack. Now it's normal.
It has happened to Candace from the mainstream media, at least journalists who were in the mainstream media.
I mean,
she's always getting attacked for that shit.
She's getting attacked, but I don't see her getting attacked on mainstream media that often. I see her getting attacked
on the news.
They don't want to give her. They don't want to give her the time of day. You know what I mean? They don't want to give her
probably not
the
on the news,
exposure,
but
you know?
They definitely have articles about her.
Yeah. But I mean, like on television. I mean, televised news.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in New York Times, but I'm saying that the New York Times, the Washington Post, those are not necessarily always the same people. You get independent people coming in to do like articles. The New York Times gets like opinion pieces. I'm not talking about
mainstream media.
When I say mainstream media, I mean the same people over and over again. The New York Times will run op-eds from anyone, and they've run op-eds from certain people who are absolutely bullshit about shit.
I'm not talking about the New York Times though. I'm talking about CNN, NBC, MSNBC, CBS.
Yeah, they have not seen them run articles like
that. They've had articles about Candace Owens calling her all that stuff.
I've not seen them call her a race traitor or a white supremacist.
It's the same thing. Which that's the same thing.
Effectively, but I haven't seen that in article form. I've seen that more like in comment sections and in Twitter rants.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that put in an article. That's a really disgusting word to put in an article.
It's been in articles before.
You're gonna have to link me the article, because to me this, I'm disagreeing with you wholeheartedly. I think this is an escalation of propaganda. I do not see this as a typical thing. I see, again, I'm saying that when they attack people like that, they are saying that, like they're implying. No, they're not saying. Sorry, they're implying that they're race traitors. That is the implication. Because by calling them crazy, what you really mean is that they're obviously voting against their own interests or whatever.
Yep.
What I'm saying is that they had the veneer of not being assholes. They were trying not to be overtly evil, and they would say things like mentally unwell, uninformed, uneducated, brainwashed. You know what I mean? And because you've always seen they're internalizing their white supremacy sort of stuff. That's been going around for like years. So I understand that the race traitor commentary has been out for a while. I wasn't seeing it in mainstream sources. We're seeing it in mainstream television now. Yeah. And when I say mainstream, I mean like the same people every time. Because you can get any number of fringe people to write an article for the New York Times like one time and it gets featured and then they never write for them again. These are people that are on TV regularly. This is the establishment media, and they're just kind of dropping the veneer of civility. More so than they really have before, I think, in a lot of ways in the last couple months. And I just thought it was the way they attacked him was particularly disgusting. I know we're getting derailed here. We've been talking to this one guy for a while, but I'll try and get off it. But I'm just saying, if anyone's interested, seriously, go look at some of the criticism of this guy. It's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely unhinged.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I might be wrong, but I could have swore I saw an article talking, basically calling her, similar stuff.
Well, yeah, you could have, but it could have been like at Salon or Vice or some of the less mainstream. Because those people run articles like that all the time.
Right.
They call them like
what it was.
I mean, like you had what is it like? Not Business Insider, like the Economist. I don't know. Yeah, one of those like one newspaper saying that like Ben Shapiro was like the alt-right sage without the rage.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, he's Jewish.
He was a white supremacist. And
but he's Jewish.
He was a Nazi.
Guys, what the hell are you saying?
It's the ultimate thing where I'm just so confused. Why?
Don't you see the yarmulke?
Yeah. Who is a Orthodox Jew? Why is he a Nazi? He literally.
Like, how is he a Nazi?
Orthodox Jew.
Like, how does that work?
It doesn't make any sense. But anyways, I think I just might have been one of those other places possibly, but I have seen the beef they talked about.
I mean, I've seen plenty of like disgusting articles run about these people. I just don't. Yeah. I'm not seeing it from a mainstream source like ABC, MSNBC,
But at this point,
NBC,
those independent
CNN.
ones are becoming the mainstream. So
yes and no, and no, because what you have with the independent ones is they're usually owned by those companies, the larger ones. Like,
yeah.
Like Vox is owned by MSNBC, I think.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Things like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. And so they'll use their like more fringe, less known publications to do stuff like that. Yeah. But they have like their establishment media, which is the veneer of being respectful and respectable, and they've just dropped it, man. The last 6 months, they've just straight dropped it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They just don't care anymore.
On the straight up political stuff they dropped too, like Don Lemon saying that they should hack the courts, that they should add the states, get rid of the filibuster, and it's funny that it took Chris Cuomo, like,
took fucking Fredo.
It took Fredo to
okay, listen, Don Lemon, if you're taking advice from Fredo on politics, and if you need to be educated by Fredo, you may need to shut the hell up.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, pretty crazy. I actually couldn't believe that. Good job for Chris Cuomo for actually sort of calling him out on that.
I mean, this is literally the dude that said, "Where does it say that protests have to be peaceful?" If that's the guy that has to lecture you on how the Constitution works, you really need some help.
Yeah, that's not good. All right. Okay. So yeah, I think we're. And we didn't even mention. We'll mention this real quick, but at the so Louisville, Kentucky, I think is where the Breonna Taylor thing was. Yeah. So they had more protests and riots, and 2 cops were shot. Now. Because
of course, that's how this goes.
Duh. Right.
Although one of them showed up for duty like 24 hours later. One of them was fine. Like one of them's a goddamn hero.
Yeah. So yeah, just wanted to give a mention of that. You know, we're gonna, at least I, am going to be praying for them and their families. Hopefully they're gonna be okay. But yeah, and it's so desensitizing now. Like, of course there's more riots. Of course. I can only imagine what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen when the George Floyd case is, the charges come down or not come down.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what the response is going to be. I imagine it's going to be, and my thing is where that happened, in Minneapolis. That shit has already burned down. Are they just going to burn it down again?
They're gonna like organize there and then realize that, oh shit, we don't have anything to burn down, and then they're gonna go build like a couple homeless shelters and make sure.
And then they'll burn them down.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man. Like, and I think that's
actually that is an interesting note, real quick.
Yeah.
On the building stuff, if these people legitimately wanted to do anything to help these communities, if they had any serious intention to do anything positive, they're gathering in mass numbers. Why not build a homeless shelter? Why not fix up the local infrastructure? Why not volunteer to clean up the city of trash and freaking heroin needles? I mean, God, why do you get together and your first thing is let's be violent?
Yeah.
Like, that is not good. If your ideology demands that when you get in a group you have to be violent, you are following something evil.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when Christians get in a group, when like honest to God Christian conservative libertarians get into a group, and I can tell you when it happens, call it Tea Party, we clean shit up before we leave.
Yeah, they left it cleaner than it was
Like,
before.
that's how you know which is good, who's good or bad. Look how they leave an area after they've had an assembly.
Yep.
Pretty good indication of how conscientious and I guess moral the group you're dealing with is.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's going to be my new standard for this sort of stuff. If you get together in a group for any reason and what you leave is dirtier than when you got there, you're assholes.
Yep. At the very least.
At the very least, you're assholes. At the worst, you're evil.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God! Speaking of absolutely okay, so this is Supreme Court stuff, which we'll get to later. But
yeah.
Speaking of evil, this is how you know you're on the wrong side of things. That lady that converted to Satanism because Ruth Bader Ginsburg died.
Oh my gosh! Really?
Yeah, you didn't see this? Ben had a whole few-minute segment on it. She converted to the Church of Satan because of RGB.
Oh my God!
Because she died, and she says because the Church of Satan, to be fair, is an atheistic institution. It doesn't
Right,
actually believe
yeah.
in any, like, it doesn't believe in anything. It just believes in, like, free will and compassion and all this liberal horseshit.
Yeah.
Actually, free will and compassion are legitimate, but when you put it under the banner of Satan, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, no.
Get it? Hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she joined the Church of Satan because of RGB dying. It's like, okay, listen, I understand the nuances of the Church of Satan, how it may not inherently be an evil organization. It may have some saving graces. Maybe there's some, rational thought and logic and good atheism in there. But it's named after Satan.
It's still named after him.
It's like there's something going on there that's probably not good.
Yeah.
And you may not want to hear it, atheists and Satanists out there, but the devil's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
There is a reason.
He is a symbol of all things evil. Why would you name a church after him?
Yeah.
And then say you're atheist? Like, if you're gonna say you're atheist, you believe in compassion and liberty and whatnot, then just like just dedicate a church to like Thomas Paine or something.
Yeah.
Or like anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone. God, what the hell?
Yeah.
Honest to God, the Church of Lenin would be a less evil organization.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be that far off, but it would be like, demonstrably better.
Yes. Yep.
Like, the Church of Adolf Hitler would, honest to God, be a better institution than the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell. And that's... You have problems when that's the case.
Yes, exactly.
And my only thing with the Church of Satan is, like, again, they might not actually encourage devil worship, but what do you bet there are people in that church that do?
Oh,
that
yeah,
are just, like, awful human beings.
Yeah.
Because the doctrine allows for it. It allows for that sort of free will,
Right, yeah.
And this is my other thing, right? Like, this is the thing that really bothers me. If you think Satan's a symbol of free will, you've gotten this whole thing backwards.
Yes.
God is a symbol of free will. Like, how the fuck do you think Satan God is free will?
Yeah.
I mean, free will is a creation of God. Like, you can't sit there and pretend that free will is anything but a direct creation of God.
Yeah.
Even in the biblical universe where you're putting, like, Satan as your hero figure. Well, even if Satan's your hero figure in the biblical universe, if that's what you're thinking, everything's made by God in that canon.
Yes. Yes.
Including Satan and his free will.
Yep.
So, the originator of free will is God.
Right.
He just chooses not to be a dick with it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can do whatever I want. I'm going to be a good person. Satan's like, I can do whatever I want. I'm going to rebel against the most perfect being in creation because I think I'm better.
Yeah.
Like, the sin of Satan is pride.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't have the virtue of free will or liberty. He has the sin of pride. That's his characteristic. If you think Satan's a symbol of liberty and free will, you've got it wrong.
Yeah.
He's a symbol of pride. That you think you're better than God is the ultimate arrogance.
Yes, it is.
That's the point. And pride is the center of all real evil.
Yeah.
In the Christian canon, pride is the worst sin. You're going to find it at the center of effectively all evil.
Right.
That's why Satan's an ambassador for that sort of motif.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you could say he's a lot of other things. People think greed is like similar to pride in some way. Greed, gluttony, things like that. Lust. That those are because I'm sure you've heard the argument the 7 deadly sins are all more or less the same. No, pride is the worst.
It is.
Pride is the worst of all the sins. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, because most of those are coupled with it. Like.
Yeah, generally speaking, they are in cohorts. I guess you'd say they're working together, working in tandem. The other thing is that pride is also competitive by nature. So it's one of those things that you never satisfy and continues to become more and more of an issue.
Right, absolutely.
There's a potential you'll satisfy your gluttony or greed. There is the potential. There's a potential you'll satisfy your sexual lust. Or lust for anything. Whatever your lust happens to be, generally speaking, is sexual.
Yeah.
There's like no chance you'll satisfy your pride because generally the idea of pride is that you're competing. You're being prideful.
Yes.
If someone has more than you, at any point, if there's anyone that has any more than you in any given field, well then you can't stop competing. You can't be because you're not better than them.
Yeah.
So pride is the worst of all sins. In fact, and here's the danger of pride. Having pride can be a good thing, but generally speaking, it's a bad thing disguised as a good thing. Yeah. Like, for example, I'm too prideful to be vain. It's being vain is beneath me. It's like being vain is bad, but having too much pride in your self-worth and quality of character, it's still a sin. So pride is one of those things that you can smuggle into other sins and not even notice you've done it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Like, pride is really hard to pick up on.
It is.
I'm sure I'm engaging in it right now by lecturing all of you. You fucking peasants. Peons.
No one's going to get the reference that I just said, not even you, but it's
Who?
fine. Connor, CDogVA, he's a YouTuber, anime YouTuber, who he's British and he always calls people peasant as a joke.
Yeah. A lot of personalities do because they're all arrogant assholes.
Yeah, but he's actually being, he's not being serious about it. He's literally joking. So.
But yeah, I think the point. I guess I've been on a long discussion here about the Church of Satan people. Again, this is where we get those 2-hour podcasts from. We gotta calm down.
Yep. Yeah,
we're gonna go to RussiaGate real quick. We will go back to this. We'll talk about this again when we highlight the Supreme Court stuff. I'll try and link the little clip from Ben Shapiro's video about the Church of Satan. Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's what I think. I think that that's an exercise in her case of pride.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me. And arrogance, pride, stupidity. A lot of stupidity there. But ignorance is not as much of an issue as arrogance. Arrogance plus ignorance, that's an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, the ignorance isn't the problem, it's the pride.
Exactly.
You're proud of your stupidity, more or less. That's the issue here.
It is.
All right. I guess I could give like a whole C.S. Lewis style like discussion on pride, but he already did that for me. So if you want to hear more about the cardinal sin of pride, like why it's so bad, feel free to check out Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis.
There you go.
It's a great series of...
the author of Chronicles of Narnia as well, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how you know... damn, why? That's how you know it's really good. See, if you want Christian thought, God forbid you go to the Bible or a scholar, go to the guy that wrote Narnia. See, thank you, Wyatt. Thank you for giving him the credentials he deserved.
Well, I mean, so I'm pretty sure most people remember that series. So.
Yeah, they do. I just thought it was funny. You're like,
oh, C.S. Lewis, I've heard that before.
Well, I just thought it was funny. You're like, yeah, the guy that wrote Narnia, so you know he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Christian morals and philosophy, you know he's good because he wrote Narnia. Fair enough.
All right. So we've only done one topic.
Hey, so you know what? Fuck it, man. I got time.
Yeah, we got time. All right.
Not RussiaGate.
Not RussiaGate. So I think you might know more about this stuff than I do because for a long time I wasn't paying attention.
I was pretty on it for a little bit. I guess this is the issue here is that there was a tweet in 2017 by Trump saying, "Oh, they're scrambling to get evidence. They don't have anything on me. That's why they're going to wait till Friday to announce this." And basically, we have text and communications from FBI agents saying, "Yeah, that's basically it." And not only is that basically it, they know it's wrong. So like you can see in the chain of text there, they understand that it's not on the level, and that's why they go. And in this particular communication, they go and they start saying, "Well, we're all going to go get professional liability insurance. So when we get our asses sued for this, we'll have insurance."
Right.
So that's really the story here. Is that the story is two things. One, Trump was right in 2017 when he said that they didn't have evidence on it. They're scrambling to get it. It's true. Yep. And then it's also the fact the FBI knew, the FBI agents, it's not even just because the upper staff obviously, but even the agents involved in this, fully aware it wasn't on the level, fully aware it was completely unacceptable, that it was a breach of conduct and morality. But again, in their arrogance and pride, they said, well, let's get insurance. We don't get fucked over by this, but God, we're not going to stop, obviously.
Yeah, no.
Because we're clearly on the right side of history here.
It's God
dang it, guys, come on.
It's not good.
But if anything, it tells you they understood what they're doing was wrong.
Yes.
Or at the very least, they had an inkling of it. They understood. Maybe they didn't really understand it in the moral sense, but they understood in the procedural sense that they were violating typical, I guess you'd say, protocol.
Yeah.
They weren't adhering to the process for this. They should be.
Right.
And they personally thought it was fine because they're morally corrupt, but I think somewhere deep down they knew they were doing something wrong, which is why they all did a mad dash to get for like government professional liability insurance. So
and didn't they also with the text confirm that the information that Steele?
But that was more or less already known.
Okay.
So the deal with the Steele dossier is we knew that it was bunk information. We knew that it was gained from some pretty bad sources, and we also knew that it was the FBI knew it was questionable. Like when they went for the search warrant, they knew it was really bad information. This just confirms that Christopher Steele, they knew that he was a bad source,
Yeah.
And actually, they thought he was a national security threat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that's
Right.
kind of a bombshell, but more or less we knew that Christopher Steele's crap was not okay. And we
Right.
knew for a fact the FBI knew that it wasn't okay because they went and got warrants on this stuff, this faulty information, which they knew was faulty.
Right. Yeah.
So, no, it was something of a revelation that they also considered him a national security threat. That's interesting.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
But it's not really anywhere near as surprising as the fact that these people knew it was wrong. Like, that's the interesting thing is the FBI agents sitting here, and we're thinking, oh, the agents, the rank and file, they're good. No. No, apparently not. That's discomforting. Because the rank and file, I guess you call them, involved in this case, they knew exactly what they were doing, and that it was not okay.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
All right, let's move on to Supreme Court stuff. Today is Saturday. Trump will be announcing his pick for Supreme Court. I promise you that once it's been officially announced, we'll go into the comment section and post who it is. But for the moment, we think it's going to be Amy Coney Barrett.
Yep.
Seems to be the case. Fox News, they had an independent source that confirmed it. Take that with a grain of salt, But that seems to be the case. I've linked a video there to Robert Barnes and some of his take on Amy Coney Barrett, which I happen to agree with. I don't actually think she's the best choice. I know last week I may have signaled some sort of support for her. Since then I've watched a couple hour live stream with Robert Barnes, and again Robert Barnes, the guy I defer to for a lot of the stuff because he's been thus far accurate and very knowledgeable, and he made some good points about her that I didn't know. For example, she voted on some of the worst lockdown procedures in the country. She had one of the worst opinions on them. So she was in favor of lockdowns in Illinois, which is it's not. I would see people saying, well, I mean, did she really know any better? The facts, the evidence? No, there's a case in Pennsylvania by Judge Stickman, who struck down the lockdown orders and listed dozens and dozens and dozens of facts. I mean, pages of facts to explain why. He wrote a really airtight case against these people. He was furious, and I mean, he put it to him so bad. He stuck the middle finger to him worse than I've seen anyone do to anyone. It was amazing. He just dropped the mic, man. He was like, man, boom, your entire fucking lockdown order wrecked. And so the idea that there's any excuse for her on this, there's not. It's a really bad call, and I think that's worth talking about because there are examples of people in similar positions making much better calls.
Right.
I have no reason to think she wouldn't have access to that information. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she simply wasn't aware of it. Maybe it's happened after she made her decision. I can't remember exactly what the timeline is here. But my point is that there's plenty of evidence against lockdowns. And to prove that, there's an airtight case, which is held up in Pennsylvania. They still haven't been able to get past his... I think they tried to appeal it, and they just couldn't. It's been struck down every time. Right. So, cases are airtight, man. The lockdowns are bad. Here's the facts. And I think that being the case... not only are they bad, they're unconstitutional. Even if they weren't bad, even if they were effective, that does not change the fact it's a violation of your liberty.
It is. Yeah.
And that's my thing, with gun laws and whatnot. How people like to argue about, would not having as many guns make us safer? Yada yada. It doesn't matter. Same thing with lockdowns. It doesn't matter if they work. It's a violation of your rights.
It is.
And I choose freedom over safety any day.
Yep.
So
100%.
This is a matter of your liberties being violated. You as a free adult, a free human being, could make your own choices. And if they're bad choices, pay for them. So it really is a bad idea to go outside. Well, sucks to be you. You got COVID. Let people make that decision on their own.
Exactly.
You cannot strip away their ability to freedom of association, freedom of movement, their right to work. That is not up to you. So Stickman made a really good case against it. He made the case on multiple grounds, and I have no way to defend Barrett in this case, and that's my point. And there's also, if you look at, if you really want to listen to the rest of the video on Barnes, if you want to listen to the video, I don't know if you want to listen to it at all, but if you do listen to it, you'll notice he mentions that she basically, in no cases, a single one that he's aware of in her time as a state judge, sides with a person. She always sides with the prosecutor, the government, the big corporation. Very rarely does she side with an individual. She seems to be consistently pro power, pro powerful at least, and that's kind of concerning. Now, whether or not that follows her to the Supreme Court, we've seen people switch up their tune when they get to the Supreme Court, so maybe she does. Right. I don't have a lot of faith in that. So, again, general opinion though, she's probably more like a 6 out of 10. whereas Ginsburg was like a 2 or 3 out of 10.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's still an upgrade.
Should be better. I don't have any doubt of that.
Better.
It's just that I think there would be cases that she's going to decide
she's not the best.
Not our way, you know.
Yeah.
Now Lagoa looks pretty good. Again, I don't know a lot about her though. I think her state record looks pretty good from what I've heard. Not super knowledgeable on her. I think what looks good for her specifically is her life history. You know, I think she's going to be very firm. You know, not a fan of communism, socialism. She'd probably be more than happy to strike down Obamacare because it clearly is a violation of many people's rights.
Yeah.
It's a violation. Well, even if it wasn't a violation of your rights, it's a complete overreach by the government. The government's not instilled with that power. So
it's not.
I think she'd be more likely to strike down Obamacare, strike down a lot of stuff. You know, I think she'd be more likely to support Trump with DACA and things like that. So she's a good pick because it looks like from her life experience, as far as I can tell, and just from the commentary I've heard of her, that I think she would side more correctly in a number of federal cases, specifically regarding with Trump's power, what he can and can't repeal. Because right now, I think Barrett would maybe side with Obamacare, maybe side with DACA. I don't know. Maybe she wouldn't. I hope she wouldn't. But I would have hoped the same thing with Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, and look what happened there.
Right. Yeah.
So, although technically, I don't think they agree with that, though. I think that was Roberts being a dick.
Yeah, I think so. He was basically doing it on like a technicality, sort of like we agree that this should be gone, but we don't like how you did it. You have to do it differently.
That's stupid. But regardless, I mean, I can rant about this all day. I think the point is that I think Barrett's going to be just worse. Lagoa maybe like a 7, 8 out of 10. Barrett maybe like a 5 or 6.
Right. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think that Lagoa is more appealing to me at this point.
And here's the thing: they're equally qualified. That's the other thing. They are equally qualified. So there really isn't, from a legal standpoint or from like a credential standpoint, there's really no way to decide who's better, who's worse here.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure.
I would just say, based on the way they decided their cases,
seems that Lagoa would probably be a better judge.
You would hope.
But you know,
and you'd have a reason to hope.
and if he picks Lagoa, cool. If he picks Barrett, cool. It's still an improvement from Ginsburg as far as the courts go. It would still be closer to restoring a constitutional, sort of Supreme Court.
My one thing with Barrett is I hope I'm wrong. I don't know if she's actually all that pro 2A. I really hope she is. From that one case that she decided, I really hope that was her being like, "Oh yeah, rah guns." I don't necessarily think that was the case.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it was more like in the case of felons who are nonviolent getting their rights back. I think she any right you'd listed in that case, she would have said yes.
Yeah. But,
so I don't know how pro-gun she is specifically, but I could hope.
Yeah, but that's still a good sign that if that isn't the case, it's still a good sign that she is in favor of people's rights.
Broadly, I'd say that's what I'm saying. Broadly, she's going to be better, but when you put that same person up against, pick a corporation or government institution she likes,
right? Yeah.
Does she side in their favor? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So. We'll see. There's a lot of unknowns with her.
But just to be clear, she's still going to be better than Ginsburg.
Yes.
But
she's going to be a dramatically more attractive justice than Ginsburg. That matters a lot. We need to make the courts sexy again.
Facts.
I mean, not too sexy. If you get back to like Anthony Scalia sexy, I can't handle that. I'll be too distracted by his immaculate, amazing, like constitutional bona fides.
Yeah.
That's just too much. But a reasonable authoritarian type would be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as she has nice tits.
Oh man, okay. Alright. So,
oh my god, can you imagine what happens when she gets elected to the court? Can you imagine all the fucking Rule 34 stuff we're going to see about her? Holy crap.
Ooh, I'm not.
Holy crap.
Ooh. No.
She's going to be the only person on the court that's attractive.
Yeah.
Right now. Oh no! I mean, I think Gorsuch is actually a pretty good-looking dude, but he's a dude.
Yeah, that's true.
And Kavanaugh's not bad either. But he's a dude. All the other ones are old, but she's not super old, and she's pretty hot. So I think that's a good step in the right direction here.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So a couple more things on the Supreme Court. There was a new ad that quoted RBG about saying like, look, it needs to be filled. The spot needs to be filled if there's a vacancy.
Yeah, her dying wish is not doesn't mesh with her philosophy.
Yeah, it doesn't. And we don't even know if that actually was a dying wish. It was just a rumor going around. I didn't see any direct confirmation. I just heard, Democratic senators talking about it.
My granddaughter said that's what she said when she was dying. So.
Right, yeah. But
who knows? Maybe her granddaughter's a lying bitch.
Maybe. And I would probably bet on it. That is correct. But
anyway.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. News.
Let's go down to our third biggest story, which is going to be Biden stuff.
Hold on. We're not done
it.
yet. There's a couple more things I wanted to mention really quickly. So in addition to that, the left has also already started attacking Barrett for literally adopting children. She adopted 2 children.
Oh, did you know what would be amazing?
What's up?
All right, sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, the left is awful. I was just thinking about this. Wouldn't it be amazing if Trump had been hinting at Barrett so he can just switch around and flip out Lagoa at the last minute, and they have nothing to attack her on because they haven't prepared?
Yes, that would be a really good tactic. Good job. I would. Oh my gosh, that would be such.
The 40 chess, man. The 40 chess.
Yup, that 40 chess.
And then he comes out and he goes, listen, I've seen some bad news on the left. They've convinced me. I've seen some bad stuff about Barrett. I hear she adopts children. Okay, there's nothing okay. Listen, that's terrible. That's terrible. Adopting children, that's awful. That's not what I would say. That's what they tell me. Someone tells me that's terrible. That's terrible thing to do.
That's what the Democrats are saying.
The Democrats have made it very clear. Listen, the better choice there would have been to abort the child. But they're not in fan of adoption. You should have just shot the kid in the face, really. And taking that into account, I'm gonna pick Lagoa.
Yeah.
She got confirmed with 80 votes in the Senate. So I think she's got bipartisan support.
Yeah. Yeah, but I actually can't believe that they're literally attacking her for adopting children. Because where did she adopt them from?
Haiti? Wasn't it Haiti?
Haiti. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, from Haiti. Yeah. She literally.
Well, that's the thing is like I couldn't disagree with her maybe because of justice, but she's a good person. It's kind of hard to deny that.
She had 5, I think, of her 7 kids were biological, right?
Yeah. She gets busy, man.
So
fucking Catholics.
Man, and yeah, it's just crazy that they're attacking her for literally adopting children.
See, I don't find it all surprising though, because you understand the left has a serious hard-on for dead babies. So in their world, you're supporting an industry which gives women the false idea that they shouldn't be killing their children.
Right. Yeah.
So in their world, adoption, no, clearly not. Clearly, you need to be murdering your child in the womb.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely what they're saying.
See, that's what I mean. Like, you join the Church of Satan, and you're surprised when you start saying ridiculous stuff. I don't care if you believe in God or not. The fact is, you guys are fucking evil.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you may as well be worshiping at the altar of Moloch. You're sacrificing children, and you're upset when they live. So,
yeah. All right. A couple more things really quickly. Nancy didn't rule out whether or not they're going to ban religious tests for the nominees.
Well, and speaking of Nancy, we didn't put this in a link in there, but this isn't crazy. She was asked about impeachment. She was in the middle of a press conference. She was asked by George Stephanopoulos about considering impeachment.
Yeah.
And she goes,
I forgot about that.
"Good morning, Sunday morning."
Yeah, while in the middle of a conversation.
Right in the middle of it.
She started it.
Totally. She literally has like a factory reset.
Yeah, it was freaking weird.
Zuckerberg had to, re-upload her software.
I guess.
She was crashing or something. I don't know. Maybe he had to reboot her.
Yeah, dude, that was really weird.
It was creepy as shit.
Yeah, I was like, excuse me? And it was with ABC, and they still have it up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's bad. Sorry, you can go back to that. What you're saying.
Yeah, but basically she just said that she wouldn't rule out that they were going to ban religious tests.
Even though the Constitution explicitly says you can't do that.
Yeah.
He's ruining all the norms. He's destroying our constitutional system. Would you like to violate the Constitution? Oh, maliciously.
Yeah.
I would love to rape the Constitution with the dragon dildo.
Yep.
The president. Yeah. The president is violating the norms of our institutions. Wait a second. I have to go get my hair dried at a salon without wearing a mask.
Yep.
Because I am a raging bitch.
Yeah. All right. So I think that was almost it. And then there was one more thing. I am gonna leave some stuff also there with links. Has it talks about some rulings by Lagoa. I was able to find that.
Nice.
So that's on there.
All right. Yeah, the links are all there. Go for it. On to Biden.
Yep.
This is the other interesting thing. So the thing with Biden that's been interesting is we're gonna have a couple stories here about him just being, Biden. The interesting thing that I think thus far is that he has just dodged press events. He's dodged the media for the last couple days. He decided not to campaign. He's put a lid on, I guess. Is that the terminology? Well, something I've never heard because people don't do that.
Yeah.
So that's been crazy. He has just decided he's not going to really show up, and he's made it clear now. I think before he just wouldn't show up, and now he's just like, okay, it's 9:30, time to end it. That's it for the day. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that he's just not doing interviews.
He's not showing up.
He's like pulling a lid at like 9:30 in the morning. Like he's done it at least 9 times this month, at least. And
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Last week, and I don't know how many times he's done it this week. So, it's pretty bad.
Other than that, we just have our typical 200 million people are going to die by the time we finish my speech.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that he said that. So he literally said it's estimated that 200 million people have died of COVID probably by the time I finish this talk. And it's like, what?
Don't you mean 200,000?
Yeah. Then he also said, and I actually forgot about this link, but I'll try to put it in there. But he also said that 200 more thousand were gonna die before January.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
I'm just like, what? What now?
Then we have a video of him saying that the troops are stupid bastards. I don't know if it's a joke or not. Again, you can't really tell with Biden.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell with Biden, but
I mean, that's the thing they claim that Trump did, and here he is actually doing it. These things double standard.
Yeah, and then he even said, in a tweet, he put out an ad. He said, "Mr. President, if you don't respect our troops, you can't lead them." I'm just like,
bitch, please.
Yeah, but more bad, more.
No, it's ridiculous. Well, what did you think about the about his him canceling his events? I mean, what do you think that really means, though? Like, just give me a rundown of that real quick.
I think it's just honestly they don't want him out there and talking. They just don't, because you have mishaps like with the teleprompter, you have gaffes like 200 million, and that stuff does not look good. It really does not, and if you look at, and even with the town halls, his town hall was like maybe 45 minutes, and Trump's was an hour and a half. And I'm just like, yeah, that doesn't look good.
Well, I think he looks awful. I think it's one of those things where it looks bad, and I don't know if they say like, oh, he's prepping for debate. No,
you don't need that many days to prep for a debate.
Yeah, that's verifiably bullshit.
Yeah, it is. And if you look at what Biden's doing as far as like campaigning and doing events and stuff compared to Trump, his schedule is freaking loaded every single day. Obviously because he's the president, but also with extra events and stuff as well. Like, it's crazy the amount of stuff that he's doing. Like,
well, and that's my question with Biden is like, okay, listen, if you can't handle a campaign event when you have literally nothing else to do that day, why would I expect you to do like even more than one meeting a day as president?
Yeah.
Like, how would I expect you to actually manage any of the roles or any of the responsibilities you're required to manage?
Yeah. There's an easy answer to that, you see.
You don't.
Kamala. Just give it to Kamala.
Well, here's my problem with that, though.
Yeah,
she hasn't been seen in days either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah, it kind of just more of the same with Biden.
It must suck to know that your best strategy for getting elected is to be as little known as possible.
Yeah.
It must suck to know that you have a personality that's so genuinely repugnant that if you get in front of a camera, your ratings will go down.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, I did have one last thing, but I actually forgot what it was that I was going to say. It was about Joe, but
That's the thing. If Joe was hiding, but Kamala wasn't, that'd be fine because we know she's going to be the president anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
At least we can hear like the president, the one that's actually running for president talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even get that though.
Nope. I think that's pretty much it for the Biden stuff.
Yeah, it's just same old with him. The really interesting thing was him just like canceling his campaign events, more or less.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have some Jacob Blake updates. So, the attorney for the cop who shot Jacob Blake, he said that Blake was kidnapping a child after hearing the mother's cries, or at least he thought Blake was kidnapping a child. So, apparently, he heard the woman say, "He's got my keys. He's got my kid." Or no, sorry, it was the other way. Apparently, he heard the mother of one of the children say, "Hey, he's got my kid. He's got my keys." So,
well, it isn't a hard assumption to make when he's getting into a car. You know he doesn't own because you probably don't have the plates on it.
Yep.
And he's got 3 kids in the back that are supposedly his. And he's resisting arrest. Like it looks like he's kidnapping kids.
Or at least one of them, because she didn't say kids, she said kid. So I don't know. I don't know if just one of them was hers and the other were his. I have no idea. But my assumption is that he was stealing that car, and those kids were in the car. So yeah. That's not good. All right.
I mean, the reason I'm excited about this is the same reason that Candace made that like 20-minute video on George Floyd.
Yep.
Yes, he was shot. Yeah, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the case of George Floyd, he didn't deserve to die. He had done nothing to warrant that.
No.
Whereas this guy had warranted it. Now, deserved or didn't deserve, that's a separate issue. He had definitely done something to forfeit his life.
Yes, he forfeited his right to live.
Now, thankfully, he's alive.
Yeah.
But the fact is, in both cases, we have to pretend these people are amazing, upstanding citizens when they're not. They're really horrible people.
Especially Jacob Blake. Well,
yeah, Jacob Blake is awful. I mean, really bad.
Really bad.
Like George Floyd did some really bad stuff, but the last couple of years it looked like he was just on drugs. The thing with George Floyd that was bad when he was being caught is that he was on drugs.
Yep.
That's the worst thing he was doing. Yeah. And he'd been in prison a lot. I'm not saying he was a good dude or any way. I'm saying he was a better person probably at this point in time than Jacob Blake, who was in the middle of trying to basically steal kids.
Yep. And he allegedly raped that mother, right? Mm-hmm. And there was apparently enough evidence for her to get a restraining order. So, which
isn't necessarily a high bar, but it's not exactly low either. Like she had to present something that was worth considering.
Right. Yeah. For her to get a restraining order. Yeah. But yeah, just wanted to give that update. Is that apparently, she said that he's got my kid and my keys.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's pretty much it for that one. Just a little bit of an update. And then the vote by mail stuff, they went after Trump because he was trashing on the mail-in ballots because a reporter asked him if he would, commit to a peaceful transfer, and he said, hey, if those ballots are thrown out, and you know what I'm talking about, it's really bad. Then yeah, it'll be peaceful, but frankly, it won't even be a transfer. It's going to be a continuation, and that's basically him just saying, yeah. I mean, as long as he doesn't suspect voter fraud, then yeah, which is fair because
he's like, yes, in 4.5 years, I will peacefully give power over to whoever the Republicans wanted next.
Yes,
that should have been his response.
Yeah, that definitely should have been a response. But
the problem with his answer was that he was trying to say that, well, if there's voter fraud, I'm going to know. Like, if there's clear, like if I sue over it and the courts find that there was voter fraud, then no.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's what they're upset about.
Yeah, and they're just and then they're running off with the idea that he's not going to be peaceful transition, blah blah blah. That's not the case. If he loses, like fair and square, there's going to be a peaceful transition. Okay.
Frankly, I don't think there's any way for him to lose fair and square at this point. And
no.
This may be again a bit of an escalation of tensions here.
Yeah.
Considering everything we know of Russia, considering how the media acts, considering the sheer amount of absolute lies, and not even propaganda, I mean straight up lies.
Yes.
I don't think there's a fair way he loses anything, because
Oh,
the media's been
absolutely.
carrying the water for Biden so hard, no one actually knows who they're voting for with him.
Yes.
Like with Hillary Clinton, you knew. They didn't try and carry water for her in the same way they do with Biden. She went out, she talked, she made her mistakes. You knew who you were voting for with Hillary Clinton.
Exactly.
A lot of people really don't with Biden, and they're just not getting the information.
Yeah. For sure.
So,
All right.
I mean, yes, he can technically lose legitimately, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I mean, I personally won't see it as a legitimate loss, because I mean, look what they did with RussiaGate and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't trust these fuckers.
No.
And why is that not the focus of Trump's campaign right now? Look at how bad RussiaGate is. Look at how evil it is. Let's just blast it for weeks on end. And by the way, who was the administration that did that? Biden's administration.
Yes, that's correct.
You're literally, this is the same motherfucker. You were trying to put in the exact same shit you just kicked out.
Yep.
Look at this bitch. Look at this lying, cheating, fucking whore. Look at this fucks my brother's widow. Goddamn $3 million from a Russian fucking,
Yeah.
Russian ex-wife of a Russian mayor. Motherfucker. Look at this bitch. Look at this bitch. Look at this. Look at this absolute shit show. You already kicked out once.
Yeah.
You could have voted for Hillary if you wanted more of it. You didn't want more of it. Why is this even on the table right now?
Yeah. For sure.
Look at this. Abuses my power to get my friends and family like favors from various governments. Look at this little perverts the FBI and the IRS to go after my political opponents like swamp creature motherfucker. And just think for 3 seconds, is this anything you want in your power?
Exactly.
And there is not a single person with 2 or more brain cells rubbed together that would look at Joe Biden in his entirety and actually look at him and go, yeah, that's what I want in the presidency.
Right.
But we're not dealing with people that have 2 or more brain cells. We're dealing with honest-to-God zombies.
Yes, we are.
And it's
100%.
frustrating as fuck.
Yeah, it really is. Definitely.
I mean, this is the thing I don't understand. It's like Biden gets this. Oh, that was the story this week we didn't talk about in this.
Yeah.
Biden's son gets $3.5 million from the ex-wife of the mayor of Moscow.
Yeah.
Russian connections much, motherfuckers? You gonna talk about that? How about that? You gonna run that for 3 years? Huh?
Yep.
No, of course not. Fucking course not. Because if Barack Obama's administration does it, it's divine and holy.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, no matter how you screw the American people, it's totally cool.
Yeah. And then apparently he also used some of that money for Russian sex trafficked prostitutes.
He bought sex slaves with the monies.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Really bad.
Remember pissing on Russian prostitutes and that was a problem?
Yeah.
What about buying Russian sex slaves?
Pretty bad.
How's that sit? Nancy Pelosi?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no,
Fucking Christ, man.
but I couldn't. My mic didn't pick it up. But yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. But yeah, just a quick mention of that, and then real quick, you found out about the Texas voter fraud that happened, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, the Attorney General for Texas, he announced that there are 134 felony voter fraud charges in Texas in connection to the 2018 Democratic primary. So much for Texas turning purple. Yeah.
I don't have words, man.
134. Oh my god, that's crazy, man.
But how many? I want to know how many ballots that affected.
Yeah, that's definitely what I want.
How many ballots went for Beto that he shouldn't have gotten? First of all, if you voted for Beto, generally speaking, as a matter of course, I don't like to insult our audience because they're awesome. If you voted for Beto, please find the nearest loaded shotgun and kill yourself.
Damn.
You don't deserve life. You were given a gift which you have never done anything to justify. Fucking kill yourself. All right, moving on.
Moving on. So, and then Virginia.
What the hell? What the hell, guys? What the hell, Texas?
Yeah, nah. Yep. Yeah. I have even more faith now that, yeah, there's no chance we're going to turn blue. At least not in this election.
Well, if Texas turns blue, then I would say that I'm going to move, but I'm not.
No.
I will instigate a mass genocide the likes of which you've never seen. You thought Hitler was bad? No, no. No. Hitler was cute.
Damn. Okay. Anyways.
Wait until you see 14 million registered Texans, like Democrat Texans. Wait till you see them piles of bodies. Sky high. I want to build the Tower of Babel. But with bodies.
There you go. Alright,
I swear to God, when I come down from that thing, I will be speaking German, too. Count on it.
Alright, so Virginia counties are now seeing multiple absentee ballots sent to more than 1,000 voters. So more than 1,000 voters have received duplicates of the ballots. So they're supposed to get one, but they got two. So
that's how I feel about Hillary Clinton. It was bad enough after Bill, but why did we get the second one?
Yeah. Alright, yeah, I just wanted to mention those two things real quick. We got a couple more things to hit on real quick. And then,
well, didn't you see that some of the Democrat politicians doing an about-face on mail-in balloting? They're like, oh, no, go vote in person.
Right, yeah. Now they are, because they know that it's a fruitless endeavor. And that they're going to get caught.
What is my problem is that if we're going to believe science and Fauci, I totally, fine. I mean, if the goal is to suck Fauci off and you just want to believe anything he says, then cool, we can go along with that. In that line of reasoning, in-person voting.
Yep, he said to vote. Do it.
Remember Biden's town hall? Believe a scientist, and also don't vote in person.
Oh, yeah,
Shut the
and then
fuck
also,
up.
I don't trust this president with the vaccine, even though it's not
well, it's a
him.
damn good thing he isn't involved in it then, isn't he? Isn't it?
Sorry for that. My cat just knocked all my games
I was literally about to say, did your cat just do that?
Yeah, he did.
I'll skin that thing alive for you anytime you ask me.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Let's move past move. There's a couple more. So the next one is Kamala just completely being stupid and not answering a really easy question. Like, it's a softball for really anybody. Like, at this point, because I know everyone can name at least one new rapper, right? Mm-hmm. That's a lie. So this CNN journalist asked Kamala, who is the best rapper alive, and she said Tupac. And then the journalist pointed out Tupac's no longer alive. He died in 1996. And then she's like, then Kamala's like, oh yeah, I keep doing that, and she laughs with her Joker laugh.
What, you keep thinking people are alive that aren't alive?
Well,
that's called schizophrenia, and I don't think you should be a baby.
Yeah, no. But and then she said,
I see ghosts everywhere.
There you go. And then the journalist, she did her best to muse over the awkward moment, but it only got worse. And then Kamala said,
every moment with Kamala Harris is continually getting worse. There's never a moment with Kamala Harris where things improve.
Pretty much. And then Kamala says, who would I say? I mean, there's so many.
Joe, let's just say yes, we can.
Yeah. Who would I say? I mean, there's so many. I mean, there are some I would not mention right now because they should stay in their lane, but others, who are those?
Whoa. What? Whoa. Wow. Oh my God. What? Did you hear that? Rappers should stay in their lane. Oh my God. Didn't Candace get excoriated over that?
Yeah.
Telling Cardi B to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's my question. If you're presidential, if your running mate, running for president, gave an interview to one of the rappers currently alive and topping the charts, you couldn't just name her?
Right, yeah.
Is Cardi B that hard? I mean, Cardi B, Kanye, Eminem, like Jay-Z,
like all the
Killer Mike.
There's a massive list of people
they're just right there. They're there for the taking, man.
She didn't say anything. And then
she doesn't know anything about rap.
Apparently not. Or she just, I guess, didn't want to name people or something. Or maybe she thinks it's Kanye and she didn't want to say Kanye for political reasons. Maybe. But she literally, whenever the journalist asked who are those people, then she said, just keep going. She
should have been like Jacob Blake. But
yeah.
But he's not a rapper. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said rap sheet.
Yeah. There you go.
That was my favorite rap sheet. Raping women, good shit. Anyway, I've had enough fun of mocking Kamala. The point is, she's a complete and utter failure. It's unbelievable she got picked for this role. I mean, it's genuinely surprising. And the thing that's surprising about it is how everyone on the right predicted that would probably be the case. and we were all happy about it. We had weeks in advance to hear us go, oh yeah, please Kamala. And they did.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Yep,
like, that makes you think that Biden actually might be running the show, because that's a move that only he could make.
Yeah, maybe.
You'd have to be stupid as Biden to do that.
Yeah, very much so. All right. So now we have a couple more that we're going to hit real quick. So now there's a new poll that's showing that some of the Rust Belt states and also Arizona are trending more towards Trump now. So, and this is on, okay. All of the dates as well. In Pennsylvania yesterday, Biden only led him by, it's by about 2 points.
Yeah, the polling's been really interesting lately.
Yeah. In Missouri, which is, Missouri, Trump is leading 46.7 to 46, which is crazy that he's actually leading. And that was September 24th, so that was Wednesday. In Wisconsin, Trump was up 46.2 to 45.4, which is, that was August 26th, which is pretty crazy. And then Minnesota, Trump was up 46.9. Oh, no, sorry. Joe Biden was up 46.9 to 46.5. So Joe Biden is only up by 0.4% in Minnesota, which went blue last time. So that's got to be pretty scary for Biden.
Do you think this is a sign that Trump's going to win in a landslide? Because the last time the polls were so skewed against him.
Yeah.
And now he's competitive, if not leading, in a lot of them. And it's like,
yeah,
that's a radical shift.
It really is. There's a good chance now that we're going to get maybe a landslide, or maybe just he wins more states. So,
dude, oh my god.
There's Hans. So
Wyatt,
one
what
more
if he
state
wins?
in this.
Wyatt, what if he wins D.C. and Puerto Rico, and then he comes in and goes, "Yeah, I agree. We should add those states and territories," and he just flips it on the head, and he just gets he gets 4 new Republican senators.
That would be hilarious. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No, but could you imagine, though? Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, that'd be freaking insane.
Dude, they would fly off the fucking handle, man.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're a Democrat, here's some honest advice to you. I think that there is a meaningful way to protest Trump. There are things he does that are actually wrong. There's a reasonable way to be against Trump, but being for Biden is not the reasonable way to do it.
Yeah.
And really the most reasonable way to do it, if you have a serious anti-Trump bias, and you're just really not a fan of the guy, the most serious thing you can do right now is imitate the heroes, the Buddhist monks in India. You need to go out into the street. You need to douse yourself with gasoline and light yourself on fire. And that would really send me I would, if you did that, I would take you seriously.
Yeah.
Just do that.
But yeah, no. So the last
that's the end of my public service announcement.
Yeah, there you go. So the last state on the polls and stuff was from August 10th. It was in Arizona. Donald Trump was leading Biden in Arizona by almost 2 points. So he had 46.2, and Biden had 44.8. That's almost.
Yeah, and that's the really surprising thing is the states that went for Hillary are not going stronger for Biden. They're actually swinging towards Trump. So this idea that Trump needs to pick up millions of voters and he can't do it seems like he's doing it.
Yeah, it's not good.
For Biden, that is.
Yeah, it's definitely not good for Biden. It's because it's crazy. Just from Arizona and Minnesota, the fact that he's leading in Arizona and then he's barely behind Biden by 0.4% in Minnesota.
Do you think Biden knows? Do you think he knows that Trump's closing in on him, that he's just fucked?
Yeah, I think he does. Or if he doesn't, then his team does. I know for a fact his team definitely knows. And so apparently,
I hope that Biden doesn't. I hope that Biden's unaware. I hope he goes into that debate unprepared, thinking he's got it in the bag. Yep. I hope that after the election's over, that we set up a reality TV studio to say he's won and put him in a fake Oval Office, and I will literally pay $100 a month as subscription fees to watch that.
That would be hilarious. I would mooch.
Biden team, listen to me now. Listen to me now, Biden team. If you want to make some real motherfucking money, bitch, you want to make some real motherfucking money? If you do, you will set up a studio that looks like the Oval Office, perfect White House replica. You will tell Biden that going outside is dangerous because of COVID. He can do everything on online calls. Yep. And you will run a show where he thinks he's the president.
Yeah, there we go.
Please, please, oh God, please.
Yeah. So, of all those states that I just listed, if Trump wins Arizona,
Not to abuse the elderly, but I mean, that would be so good.
Hold on. So, this is according to Steve Deese. So, if Trump keeps like everything else except for like all the other states besides the Rust Belt states in Arizona, if he wins everything that he won last time, excluding the Rust Belt and Arizona that we just named, if he wins everything except for that, he only has to win Arizona and then one of those Rust Belt states or two of those Rust Belt states. And then he wins the election. So, yeah.
That seems like a pretty low threshold.
Yeah, it's extremely an extremely low threshold because he won. Wait, is that Missouri or Michigan?
Wow. That should be Missouri. That should be Missouri.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and it doesn't look like Michigan is included in this, but if Michigan did go for him last time, so I don't know if that's included in it, but yeah. So and he won Wisconsin last time, so there's a decent, and he is still leading, or not still, but he is leading in Wisconsin. So if he wins Wisconsin and then he's leading in Arizona, and if he wins Arizona and he maintains Wisconsin, it's over. So it looks like he can lose. Yeah, so he can lose Pennsylvania, Missouri.
I mean, my opinion is the second that he wins Wisconsin again, and proves that he's flipped the state red.
Yeah,
it's over.
And same with Arizona.
Well, no, I mean like specifically with Wisconsin because I'm saying because isn't that going to be called earlier in the night usually?
I don't know.
Okay, whatever the card. I say as soon as he wins one of those states that he flipped red again, it's over. Because your whole theory that he's lost voters, it's gone. Blown up. He hasn't lost shit. He's gained probably. So the second that he re-wins one of those states, I'm going to basically say it's over.
Yeah, I think so. Out of these states that we just named, so Pennsylvania, Missouri, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Arizona, I think there's only one of those that he might lose. I think it might be Pennsylvania.
I can disagree with that because he's been having really good polling numbers over there.
Yeah, I know he's still improving, but I think that's the only one of those five that's even probable. I think Trump is going to win Missouri because I think he won that last time. Wisconsin, he's leading there, and he won it last time. In Minnesota, he's barely behind.
Well, my thing is in Pennsylvania, they have all the energy stuff out there, and Biden has been so hard in fracking. I think that he's really pissed off the unions. Biden has.
Yeah.
So I think Trump's actually picked up union support, and that's why I'm saying that I don't see him losing Pennsylvania.
Well, he probably won't because he won it last time. But I think out of those five, that one's the most, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All he has to do
one's the most likely.
Is fly into Pennsylvania, do a rally, and then put up a bunch of ads with Biden going flip-flopping on fracking.
Yeah.
So you know that he's lying to Pennsylvania voters.
Right. Yeah. For sure. But out of those 5 states, that's where the lead is more significant.
Yeah.
For Biden, out of those 5 states. So if any of those were gonna go for Biden, I think it would be Pennsylvania. And dude, the fact that he's leading in Arizona is crazy. And the fact that he's only 0.4 points, he's less than half of a percentage point behind Biden in Minnesota, which is crazy because that is a deep blue state, and the same thing with Arizona. So it's
I have
crazy.
A grandfather that lives in Arizona currently.
Yeah,
lived in Texas most of his life, but he is a hardcore Democrat.
Yeah,
like lifelong. I don't think he actually knows what they're because he's also happens to be a licensed preacher or however they do that.
Yeah.
So I sincerely doubt he understands what the platform of the Democratic Party is. So I don't think he pays attention to it. Super smart dude. I don't think he's politically involved all that much. And I did see him holding a defund the NRA sign, which was kind of funny because it's funded by private donations. So defunding the NRA would mean violating people's right to association.
Yep.
It's not taxpayer funded. It's funded by individuals who made a choice. You would have to come in and be like, no, you don't get to make choices.
Right.
So that's but of course, when you're trying to take down gun rights, you're obviously an authoritarian. So.
Yep.
He lives in Arizona, and I cannot wait to see his Facebook post on that. Oh no, our terrible state went for Trump. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, that's gonna be really funny.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to send me a screenshot of that when that happens.
It'd be funnier if he wasn't 90 and actually a super cool dude, but
yeah. Right, yeah, I got you.
Old school Democrats got to learn, man. It's not the same party anymore.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not.
Donald Trumpler is going to give people liberty and jobs. No!
Yeah, right? No. Alright, just a couple more things. I think it's just 2 more things.
Yeah, this is actually a really sad story, so I'll try and...
Oh, no, hold on. Not that part yet. Oh, well, I guess 3 more. I forgot about that. So the daily presidential tracking poll had him at 52% on...
Well, that's Rasmussen. So I think the aggregate poll is 46%. But we're going with the Rasmussen stuff because it's interesting. It shows up on all the websites we watch. They link to it.
Yeah.
But specifically, it's interesting because they even have him at 47 typically anyway.
Yeah.
That's kind of average for the last couple of months. But they even have him at 52, 53 regularly those last couple of weeks.
52 or 53 last week or the week before, I think.
Yeah, like a whole week, man. So, I mean, that's interesting. But just, to be totally fair, the aggregate polling has him more around 46.
Yeah.
But, all right, cool. So let's go on to this next story. This one's kind of sad. Really sad, actually.
Yeah.
You may have heard of this stuff during the beginning of these riots. So you had a bar owner who ended up shooting and killing someone who had attacked him. So he had 2 people attacking his father that he went and intervened, and then they attacked him. He fired a warning shot after he got them off him the first time. And then a guy, I can't remember the full name of this guy, but Scurlock. This guy Scurlock jumps on this man's back. And there's a good few seconds there where he's just choking him, and he's not doing anything. And I guess at the point that he decides it's not looking good for him, he switches the gun to his left hand, puts it over his shoulder, and shoots the guy in the clavicle. Guy dies. Yep. The initial ruling on this by the DA was it's a clear and obvious case of self-defense. We have the footage to prove it. There's no doubt here. Then there was political pressure from the activists in the area who only care about the blood of the innocent. They're desperate to bathe in it. So God forbid someone that actually defended their life in a legitimate situation, be treated as such. So they get a special prosecutor to come in. Special prosecutor charges him with murder or attempted murder, whatever it is, and terroristic threats. They said when he said, "Stop, get back, please get back," he said that was a terroristic threat. So this is the level of human being we're talking about when I say a special prosecutor. No, special dumbass. Special Satan worshiper, I guess would be the best way to put it. I mean, a disgusting human being came in and said, well, that was terroristic threats. It's terroristic threats to warn someone that if they try to kill you, you're going to defend yourself?
Yep.
Well, then fuck me sideways, man. I've made a lot of terroristic threats.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need to go join Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, right.
Jesus, man. When the police say stop, hands up, is that terroristic threat? They're committing acts of terror? Yeah. Because terrorism usually is for a political goal. So if your political goal is the protection of your life and limb, well, shit, man, that's a checkbox to ballot.
Yeah.
At the voting booth, right? Self-defense, that's a political position or something like that.
Right, yeah.
How is it terrorism? What political goal or religious goal is he advancing by saying, please stop, back up?
Right, yeah. None.
So, yeah, it's beyond insane. It's beyond insulting, actually, to think that we're stupid enough to believe that was a terroristic threat. It's almost comical. It's so unbelievably bad.
Yeah,
but
it's really bad.
This guy lost his bar because he was renting a space. The landlord kicked him out, and then he lost his apartment. The landlord kicked him out of that too. So he ended up near Portland, living with an uncle, and he shot himself.
Yeah, he killed himself.
He killed himself because of this, because his life was ruined over him trying to defend his father.
The charges were also being brought against him.
Well, that's what I mean, though, because life was ruined. Yeah. It's over.
Yep.
He was going to spend like 95 years in jail if this prosecution went through, and considering how political it was, it probably would. Because we don't have in this country. You have to understand, as of the last 6 months, justice is no longer a thing in this country. There's mob rule. That's it. There is no such thing as justice. You will not be given a fair trial. You will not be treated like a human being. There is no justice in this country at the moment. And if you don't like that, then vote for Trump because he's offering to put it back on the table.
Yep.
But the mob has made sure there's no such thing as justice in this country. You will be made to suffer because you stood against us. Period. The end.
Yep.
And this guy was defending his fucking father when he got jumped by 3 unbelievably satanic individuals. How are you going to beat up an old man and then try to kill his son for defending him?
Yeah.
Now, what I understand is the old man instigated it. He came out and he pushed someone who was trying to do some damage outside the bar. Mm-hmm. This is an old guy. Okay, listen. He may not be in his right mind. He may be overreacting. Or maybe you're trying to damage his property and doesn't like it. But regardless, this is an old man. Have some
You don't.
Like
you
when
don't-
the
you don't
police
need an old
when the
man.
police pushed that old guy in New York and everyone went batshit over that.
Yep.
For good reason. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So no excuses here. These people
Nope.
they're monsters. They're animals.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Actually, animals, generally speaking, are much less capable of evil. These people are probably demons.
Yeah. That'd be a better classification.
That would be accurate, because I actually like animals.
Yeah.
Nothing against animals.
Yeah.
But demons? No, demons are fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
So these are demons. And they're acting demonic.
Yeah.
But
It's really bad.
it's terrible, and this guy, he felt that he had to kill himself after all
Yeah.
that. That's terrible. And you know what? I mean, suicide's never the answer. I'm not going to say this guy was justified when
Yeah,
he did.
yeah,
He's a victim, and in this case, a victim of his own bad choices sometimes. But
Yeah.
he was dealt a really bad hand. I can see why he felt the need to do that.
Yeah.
I would not recommend if you're in a situation to do that. Trust me, there are plenty of
No.
patriots in this country who will come to your defense legally or otherwise.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we'd organized an event, I'd been happy to bust that guy out of jail. I'd have raided a prison.
Yeah.
Fuck federal prisons.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't think suicide's the answer in this case.
No,
if you're in a
it's
similar situation, I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
But yeah, this is just tragedy all the way around. Because this guy killed himself.
really
He's
is.
probably not going to heaven at that point.
Yeah.
Because that's not how that works, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. And
So they've screwed him out of heaven, more or less, and that's because they went out of their way to screw him out of life.
Yeah.
Really,
And,
really sad.
A thing that makes me another thing that's sad is the fact that he was a veteran and this.
Yeah, this guy was a veteran, and he was doing a good job, man.
He was-
Own
he was
bar,
a-
like really.
Yeah.
God, he was.
He served 2 terms in Iraq.
Tours.
And so he had seen a whole bunch of shit, right? And this also is, of course, this is an outlier compared to.
Well, the reason it's sad for me is that a lot of veterans have problems getting jobs. They have
Yeah,
problems.
yeah,
they
they
come
do.
home. They have
Yep.
problems integrating. This guy was doing great, man.
Yeah.
Came over,
And-
owned a bar. I mean, this guy was honestly good in life. He was one of those veterans
Yeah.
that really was doing a lot better than some of his others,
Yeah.
veterans.
And then
and it's
it got taken away from him.
For doing nothing. For doing nothing. He didn't do anything to warrant this.
No. And
He was
It's
simply defending his life and that of his father.
yeah.
And
it's
there was
really,
absolutely nothing to warrant this.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just really tragic and really sad. And
Like it'd be just as sad if it was like some homeless veteran who had struggled with drug addiction and ended up getting in the same situation. But for me, it just hits particularly home because this guy's a business owner. He's made a life for himself back in the States. He's integrated quite nicely after his military service, which a lot of people have trouble doing. But he's really in a good place, and this happens, and it's all gone.
Yeah,
Every bit of what he worked for, just, off the table.
Yeah, it's just really sad to see, specifically because unlike a lot of the other veterans who end up committing suicide because of not being able to find a job, this dude legitimately, just like
This
you
guy
said,
made a life.
was
He had
able
everything.
to
He
make a
came
living.
back and made a life, and it was taken from him for no fucking reason.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it's like, God, you have to go through all that crap. You have to do all the
worst
hard work to rebuild your life in this country after serving it valiantly. And then this happens to you. It's like, and the country lets it happen. That's the worst part. This country, he went and defended. Really let people do this to him.
Yeah.
We let these lawyers and these prosecutors do this to him. It's like, that's not the country he went and fought for. It's just not. We're a different country now.
No. Yeah. 100%.
And you can disagree with Iraq, you can disagree with all of that, but what he signed up for was to participate in the defense of this country, and this is not the same country.
And potentially put his life on the line to do so.
Yeah, what he put his life on the line for is no longer, in my opinion, doesn't really exist anymore. And that's probably what, I imagine that was crippling. Just knowing that, I went and fought and died for this country, would have died for this country, willingly.
Yeah.
And I come back, and I do this great job building this bar with my father, apparently I guess his father's business partner, maybe. Mm-hmm. That's what it seems like. And I had every bit of it taken away from me for defending my life.
Yeah.
So, what the hell? What was the point of my military service if you're going to do that to me? I guess that's how I feel about it. It's like, and what's the point of going and defending this country if this country is going to outright steal everything from me when it's given the first opportunity?
Exactly.
It's just disgusting. It's like it's betrayal at the highest level, in my opinion. Your country has outright betrayed you for doing nothing more than defending yourself and serving it honorably. It's like.
It's really bad.
And I don't know enough about this guy. Maybe there's something in this history that warrants this. Maybe karma's a bitch. I kind of doubt it. This looks more like tragedy to me.
Yeah, it really does.
Completely
That way.
unacceptable tragedy. So, Anyway, this is a really uncomfortable conversation. This is gross and slimy, and I don't feel good about this at all, and no one should. But there are people, I know people for a fact, I've saw some of the articles, were happy that he killed himself, and it's like, yeah, I've read some stuff like that, some Twitter articles and stuff like that, and it's just like, could you have like a shred of humanity for 5 fucking seconds?
Yeah.
Trump spits on our troops, he's terrible, he's evil, look what he said about our troops. Well, you celebrate when they kill themselves, so maybe shut the flying fuck up.
Yeah.
You goddamn gargoyles. Holy crap. You morose bastards. Anyways, for 1 fucking second, can we just, like, respect his humanity? But no, we couldn't even get that. Because that article was posted, like, an hour after he killed himself, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just... And nothing about this is pleasant. Which is why we had to tell you about it. It's uniquely evil.
It is.
Even amongst all the last 6 months of pure torment, this was especially bad.
100%.
Especially because this is one of the initial cases, right? Where I thought this might be an example, something that got the rioters to stop, is, Americans defend themselves. The actual regular Americans and these businesses decided they weren't going to take it anymore, more or less, and that they defended themselves when they were attacked. Nope, didn't stop anything, didn't help anyone, only lost this guy his entire career and ultimately his life, so.
Alright, let's move on.
Dead bodies everywhere. I blame the left.
Same. Alright, so the last thing is our predictions for the debate that is scheduled for Tuesday.
Assuming Biden shows up. That's what that is the assumption we're gonna go on for the debate, is that Biden does show up.
Yep.
What do we think? Digitally or in person?
I think he's gonna show up in person.
Okay, me too. I think he has to at this point. He's been goaded into doing it,
100%. Especially with the way that they're saying, oh, he's prepping for the debate. Oh, he better damn well be. If he if he doesn't show up, oh man, that's gonna look so bad after they claimed that. But yeah, no, I think what's gonna happen in the debate, Trump is going to hit him on Hunter really hard. He's gonna hit him on Russia really hard. Excuse me, and of course he's gonna have a one-liner, similar to the, you'd be in jail, or the your dad killed you, or your dad killed JFK, or something like that. He's going to have something like that, and I guarantee you he's gonna have.
Your dad killed Julius Caesar.
I guarantee you he's gonna be prepared like.
Biden is that old, by the way.
The statistics like in his pocket. I guarantee you he's gonna have something like that. Yeah, and then...
there's a lot of ways to go. I just think that, for me, my prediction is that Biden's going to show up, Trump's going to show up, it'll be in person, and Biden will have been given answers ahead of time, so he will look somewhat okay, but he will fumble somewhere in there just enough that Trump can come in and just wallop him, and just come and just bam!
Yeah.
And really give it to him good, and I don't know where that's going to be, I don't know what topic that's going to be on, but I know for a fact he'll bring up Biden, or Hunter, and he will absolutely be talking about RussiaGate, how he was involved in RussiaGate, and Hunter's involvement in Russia now, and China. He'll bring up China, corrupt deals in China. And maybe this won't happen in the first debate, but you can bet that some of this corruption is something that's going to be a theme for Trump.
Oh yeah, it definitely will.
Because they keep claiming that Trump's a corrupt, foreign agent here to kill America, and it's like, well, that way better fits Joe Biden.
It does, and I think he's definitely gonna talk about that. Maybe. Like you said, it might not be in this debate, but I'm pretty sure he's going to bring that stuff up.
I think Hunter Biden's going to come up immediately, almost.
Good. If he doesn't, then whoever advises Trump about where he should point shit to is.
I think Trump needs to make sure to ask Biden questions. Like he needs to make sure, because you get responses to answers. If he attacks you, you get a certain amount of time to respond. He needs to ensure that he does something that requires a response from Biden that's unscripted. Right. To really, you know what I mean, to get Biden off his game.
100%.
So he needs to say something that yada yada yada, and that's why you're so yada yada yada, so evil and yada yada yada, and why didn't you, for example, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He needs to do something specifically. Make an accusation, call him corrupt, follow up with some evidence, then follow up with a question directly at Biden, so that Biden has to answer your question, not the moderator, your question, which he didn't get a script for.
For sure, and I don't even know if Biden will get a script because
he will.
Hold on, hear me out. Because it's Chris Wallace, who's actually pretty good at asking tough questions.
Who will?
Well, I don't know. He probably will, but at the same time, Chris Wallace is very, very. He has very hard questions.
Would Biden's team have agreed to the debate with Chris Wallace if they hadn't been guaranteed a script?
Probably not, but who knows?
He will. I have no doubt.
We'll see.
That's how corrupt this whole game is. He will get a script.
Probably. But, you know.
And please, oh please, Fox, give him the wrong one.
that would be hilarious.
I would love if they give him a bunch of like foreign policy questions or crap like that, and then they like coronavirus questions in the script. And then it's all about corruption. Like the whole thing is about. Like Chris Wallace turns to Trump and goes, "Trump, you've been accused of such, and there's this, and evidence to it." And Trump goes, "That's false. Here's why it's false. Here's some articles I have to tell you about that. Yada yada yada. Here's the FBI report on that particular situation. It's false." He goes, "Biden, your son sleeps with his brother's widow and does cocaine. Your response to that?" I just hope the night's focused on corruption because Biden's going to lose that so bad.
In a heartbeat, for sure. All right, but yeah, and I think ultimately Trump's going to win, obviously, because he's definitely. I have no doubt.
Well, Trump will win simply because he's going to look better. Like regardless, he will look more on top of it.
For sure, because Trump is an actually functioning human being, and Biden is not. So, yeah, no, I definitely think Trump's going to win all three debates as far as well, not even as far as anything. He's going to straight out win all of the debates. I honestly think that.
I think he will obviously win, and the media will say he didn't.
Pretty much, yeah. That's definitely what the media is going to be like. Republicans say that he won the debate. That's not true. Fact check. That's not true.
The truth is, he absolutely obliterated Biden, but that isn't what winning is like. Real winning would be conceding before you even start. Because the media is corrupt.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, that's our predictions for the debate.
Yep. I think that's I think that covers the week, man. There wasn't a lot going on. There's a few big stories, obviously, and hopefully next week we'll have a bit more news and a bit more to get into. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Wyatt, you have anything to say? Closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. So I just want to thank everybody, and then also one quick thing. Sorry that we didn't do the Constitution episode. There was some real life stuff going on with Andrew moving into a new place, so we weren't able to have the time to do it. But we will be doing Bill of Rights Day, and we are planning on doing that, doing it on Bill of Rights Day, where we'll hopefully talk about both the Constitution.
It'll be like a 5-hour episode.
It's going to be a little bit longer, probably, and that'll be in December. And if we do that, then there's a good chance it will.
If we do, yeah. If we do.
If we do that, then there's a chance that it will replace the weekly episode. If we don't have time to do the weekly episode.
We thought we could do 2 episodes like in a week, or on the weekend, and that's just not with my schedule currently. It's not feasible.
Yeah, maybe by that time it might be feasible.
It might be, yeah.
For us. We shouldn't make that a promise.
That's the other thing is here in the next couple weeks while I'm making a big move, there's a very serious possibility I won't have internet for a substantial amount of time. Yeah. I'm moving out to the country, and this actually is a good chance to talk about this. If you live in a city currently and you feel unsafe and you think the election's going to get crazy, yeah. So do yourself a favor. If you live in a city, maybe stop doing that. Maybe move. That's what I'd recommend. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting the hell out of this city, man. Fuck this place.
Yep.
But just as a result of that, there may be some issues, you know.
Yeah, there might be
some get internet out there and stuff like that. So.
But it hopefully won't be for too long, and maybe we'll do like some specials or something.
Could pre-record some stuff for you guys.
To be able to at least put out something. And I don't really want to do shows without you because I really I think it's more entertaining if it's both of us. And
who else is going to talk about the absolute genocide of the Texas Democrats?
Yeah.
That I fully intend to implement. Just give me an opportunity.
Yeah. But yeah, no, just I want to thank everybody for watching.
The Democrats vermoosen Nasraden. I'm sorry. I apologize. I mean, I'm not really sorry, but I know I shouldn't say that.
Right, yeah.
Plus, honestly, there's no way to compare Democrats to Jews because Jews are demonstrably better than Democrats.
100%.
All right, I've made enough jokes at the expense of my reputation. I think I'm going to stop right about now. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment. Understand that everything in this, I don't take myself very seriously, and you shouldn't either. I'm joking 99% of the time, and if I'm not, I will very explicitly say it.
Pretty much.
So please don't use it. Any future law enforcement officers tasked with reviewing these recordings, please do not view it as a threat or any intention to do anything. I won't, I promise.
It was a joke.
It was a joke.
Alright, and
honestly, you've gotten 10 episodes in and you haven't figured that out. It's kind of like you're being an idiot, so I don't really need to explain myself.
Yeah, but you still did, so for clarification purposes. No,
me skinning Wyatt's cat, that I intend to do that. That has the full force of willpower behind that. I intend to shear that thing with a scalpel.
Alright, I think that'll do it. Thank y'all for watching. Leave
Hedge clippers?
a like. What's up?
Hedge clippers, perhaps?
Oh my gosh. Alright, but leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. And let us know if,
let us know what way I need to season cat meat before I put it in the stir fry.
Alright.
Our Chinese fans could perhaps link a recipe.
There you go. But yeah, no, leave a comment. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see you next week.